Hey guys, so today we're talking about the characteristics of shapes, and when we're working to form different shapes, there's two different types of lines that we'll be talking about. So we have parallel lines, which are two lines that never intersect, and they are always the same distance apart. So when we're drawing parallel lines, they look something like this, okay? Straight up and down, never intersecting, never meeting. It can also be like this. They're never meeting, never intersecting. Okay, those are parallel lines. We also will be working with perpendicular lines, which are lines that meet to form a right angle. Okay? So with perpendicular lines, they're forming a right angle, which would look something like this. So we have a line here, another line crossing through, intersecting, and these are all right angles that are formed. Okay? So now we're going to talk about the different types of shapes. We have a circle, which has no sides. It's just one continuous line around. We know that. We have triangles, which are three-sided figure. Tri means three, okay? We have quadrilaterals. Quad means four-sided figure. We have pentagon, which is a five-sided figure. Hexagon, six-sided. And we have octagon. Oct means eight-sided figure. Okay, so you can use those prefixes to help you figure out how many sides the figure has. Okay? So now we're going to move down to our special triangles. Alright, so we know that tri means three. So each of these are going to have three sides. There are three different types of triangles as well. So an equilateral triangle, we see these lines here, they're all just one dash. That means that all of those lines, all of the sides are equal to each other, okay? So we're going to put all. And then we notice that they all have one mark on their angle. That means that they're all going to have the same angle measure as well. Okay? So that's an equilateral triangle. You can, what can help you with that too? Equilateral, equal. Okay? They all are equal. So now we're going to move on to the isosceles triangle. And we see two of these dashes the same here on two sides. So with an isosceles triangle, two sides and two angles are equal, because we also see here two of those being the same, okay? And what helps me remember isosceles triangles is we have two eyes, isosceles, so I'm going to write that up here, two eyes, isosceles. It helps me kind of remember, you know, we have two. That's what an isosceles triangle is. Two sides are equal and two angles are equal. Okay, so now we have a scalene triangle. We notice that this one has one dash, this side has two, this side has three dashes. That means that there are three different side length measures. Okay, and when we look at the angle measures, we see one dash, we see two, and we see three here. That means there are three different angle measures. Okay, so when we go down here for a scalene triangle, no sides or angles are equal. Okay, they're all different measures and different angles. All right, so those are our three types of triangles. We have equilateral, isosceles, and scalene. Now we're going to move on to our special quadrilaterals. We know that quad means four. Okay, 4. So we're going to start with a parallelogram. Alright, so we see these lines that we've been talking about with the triangles. We see 1 dash and 1 dash. Okay, so those are equal. We see here 2 and 2. So those are equal. And they are parallel. If you notice those lines we were talking about, so this is going to go up all forever. This one's going to go up forever. Those are parallel. Same thing when you're looking across. So we have 2 pairs of parallel sides and opposite sides are equal. Because if you look here, this side is opposite of this side. And then here, up and down, they're opposite. So we're going to write in opposite sides are equal. Now we also notice if we erase here, so we have 2 pairs, whoops, go back, 2 pairs of parallel sides, we have opposite sides are equal. And if we look at the angle measures, we can tell too that here is B and B, so opposite angles are also equal, and then we have A, and those opposite angles are equal. Okay, so that's something else that we can tell about parallelograms. So when we move on to a rectangle here, we see these squares. Do you guys remember what those mean in the corners? The angle measures are what? 90 degrees. Okay, so we have 4 right angles. We see 4 of those, all right? So then if we look at our side lengths, we notice this one, these are both 1 dash. So those are opposite sides, those are equal. We have here 2 dashes, 2 dashes. So we can say that opposite sides are equal. And we have 2 pairs of parallel sides. Because those are straight lines like this, they're never ending, and the across lines too, they're going straight across, they're not intersecting. Okay? So that's a rectangle. Now we're going to move on to a square. Okay, we see the same thing with those angles. Those are squares, that means they're right angles, and there are 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 right angles. And we notice those dashes, if you guys see, they're all the same, correct? So what should we put for that second blank? Blank sides are equal. All sides are equal. Okay. And pairs of parallel sides, so the up and down are parallel, and the side by side are parallel. So we have 2 pairs of parallel lines. Okay. So that's a square. Now we have our rhombus. So when we look at a rhombus, we see those dashes, they're all the same. All the same. So with that, all sides are equal. They all have that 1 dash, that means they're all equal because they match. And when we look at parallel sides, we notice there are 2 pairs of parallel sides as well, because we can, let's see, let's do this. So this side parallel to this side. And if we look the other way, AD is parallel to BC. All right. So on to our last quadrilateral, we have a trapezoid. So we see that this side is equal to this side, because they both have 1 dash. And these symbols here are telling us that those lines, this line here and this line here, are parallel, okay? They're never going to intersect. You can kind of tell that these other 2 lines, I'm going to erase real quick here. So if we look at these lines, eventually these are going to intersect, okay? So those are not parallel. Those keep going up there, will intersect. the other two, because of this symbol as well, we can see that across here, those are in fact parallel. So we have one pair. Trapezoid is the only quadrilateral with one pair of parallel sides. Okay, so that's all for our notes today. Thank you.